Hello, fellow fans of space things. Welcome to Limit Theory Development Update number 19. This is the July 2014 progress report for Limit Theory. Thank you for joining me. Today, I don't know, this is going to be a weird update because I think you're either going to love it or hate it, depending on what kind of person you are. Personally, I think this is one of the most exciting updates for me in the history of Limit Theory, just because I'm a programmer and because it's my nature to be excited by the kind of things that I'm going to show in this update. For some of you, it might not really get you excited, but the truth is, regardless of whether you're a programmer or not, July was a wonderful month for LT's development, and it's a month that's really going to impact the next few months of development, which of course are going to be the crucial stages leading up to the beta. So first of all, we'll open with graphics. There wasn't much graphics work because of course I'm kind of tapering off the graphics because they're already quite good. But I did do some performance-related graphics work this month. In particular, I've done some things that should make everything look exactly the same, but with a lot higher performance. So ideally, as I'm looking around right now, you will think that everything looks about like it did last month. In reality, the game is running at a very silky smooth 60 FPS right now. I'm not sure if you can tell because the YouTube video is 30 FPS. But I can certainly tell, and it's making me very happy. So what I did is I implemented a technology called imposters, which basically plays visual tricks with you and makes faraway objects use very lightweight versions of themselves, like really lightweight, just kind of like bitmap images. And the result is that if you do it carefully, everything looks the same, but renders way faster because those faraway objects use almost no computational overhead. GPU is thanking you. So that's exciting and it gives higher performance, but it's also going to pave the way for zone LOD, which I talked a little bit about last month and said that I was having problems with it. I don't have problems with it anymore. I mean, it's not implemented, but conceptually I know exactly what I need to do, and the imposter work from this month is going to take me there. So very happy about that. Also, asteroid popping, which we keep mentioning, is going to go away with this imposter technology. I promise, it really is going to go away this time, and once it's gone, it's really going to be gone. Seriously, just not yet. But very soon. Now I'm going to zoom back and show you the ship that I'm flying, which, in my opinion, is probably, if not the, then one of the nicest ships that I've ever flown in an update. And the reason is because the ship algorithm has changed significantly this month. Not significantly in terms of content. It's still pretty close to being the same ship algorithm, but it's tweaked. It's fine-tuned much better than the previous one. But most significantly, is that it's not written in C++ like most everything has been up until this month. It's actually written in something that I like to call LTSL, or Limit Theory Scripting Language. And that's what I'm going to talk about for a lot of this update. Last month, I kind of offhandedly told you all that Limit Theory is getting ready to very seriously support modding. And this month, I'm going to talk more about that, show you what I've been doing to make that possible, and explain why it is probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made in LT's development and why I'm so happy about it. So right now I just brought up my own little code editor. This is external to LT, but what I've brought up is a piece of code that is the ship generator. This is actually the entirety of the procedural ship algorithm, so don't steal it. No, but you can steal it, it's fine. You probably don't know what this means. But this is the ship algorithm that generated the ship that you're looking at right now, and generates all the ships, in fact. And the thing about it is, it's not actually compiled or hard-coded into the game. I can modify this on the fly, and the game will recompile this little bit of LTSL, and can regenerate ships on the fly, just for the sake of demonstrating how that works. I'm going to do it right now. So boom, I just created a new ship based on a new piece of code with a new seed number. And here it is. It's not particularly attractive, but it is generated with this piece of code, which is very exciting. So this means two things. First of all, I am going to be able to iterate much faster on the ship algorithm, because now I can just make a change in code and see it almost instantly, which is awesome for productivity. And two, of course, well, since it's external, it's moddable, which means we will be seeing, I'm sure, plenty of mods that change the style of the generated ships in LT. In fact, since everything is procedural and since everything basically goes through the same generating algorithms, what's awesome is that with just changing a few scripts, basically one script for ships, you'd be able to completely change the art style in LT, at least for ships. Now, change a few scripts, you could change the ship, the station, the asteroids. I mean, you could even change the system layouts. You could literally change every facet of the way that this universe is generated with just a few pieces of code. That is immensely exciting for me, both because I can work so fast now, and again, because players and modders in particular will be able to make their own changes and share them with the world. And as much time as I'm going to put into these algorithms, which I will continue to iterate on these until I'm happy with them, I'm sure that modders will be able to spend more time than I can, and I'm sure that people are going to have some awesome discoveries and breakthroughs, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what people are able to do with LTSL and LT's external scriptability. Very excited about that. Now, I wasn't actually narrating it in real time, but as you might notice, what I just did is I modified the algorithm so that it produces symmetric ships, symmetric about the y-axis. So that was a very quick modification. I just wanted to show that you can make conceptual, algorithmic changes to the generator in almost no time at all. I'm sure the programmers among you will probably pause and scrutinize the syntax and see what's up with that. And so you can come to the forums if you're interested in learning more about LTSL or want to ask questions or give complaints or whatever. But the general idea of it is that it's Lisp, it's a functional language, but it has the block structural syntax of something like Python, which makes it both conceptually elegant as well as syntactically clear, that's kind of my rationale, if you wanted it. For those of you who aren't programmers, who cares? It's pretty. That's all we care about. So, that was a huge part of my month because, I implemented all that and thought about how exactly I wanted the game to work with scripts and objects and generating functions and all that, and how I wanted, the language to work. Ooh, that's quite a nice ship. I like that one. But most of that work is done now, and obviously it's already functioning. Not only do I have generating scripts working, but I actually have update scripts controlling the logic of some entities. I've got them on ships, I've got them on planetary colonies and stations. And so I basically got the ability now to really quickly change the functionality of any of these in-game objects. Even the AI now I can quickly iterate on without restarting anything, without making big changes. I can see, what would happen if I did certain things in code, and that's very exciting for me. And what I'm showing right now is, you remember the scanner? For those of you who don't remember the scanner, you might want to go back and view some of the previous updates. A couple months ago I introduced it, but I just wanted to show real quick that, all that stuff that I talked about in previous videos is still there. Some people ask, is that stuff still around? Like a system map and the scanner? Yes, it's all still there. I just don't show it all the time because there are more important things to do. But I do want to bring your attention, taking a break from LTSL for a moment, I want to bring your attention to some interface work that I've changed this month. One of the complaints that I've gotten consistently about the new node-based UI is that it's kind of contextually lacking. It's hard to tell where you are, where you've come from, basically, because it used to be that you just kind of zoomed in. Well, now I've changed it to what I call a stack-based interface, or layer-based. And basically the idea is that when you activate a node, you basically just get a new window or a layer, so to speak. And what I'm doing right now is cycling between those layers. So this is really neat. If I click on my ship, then I can open a layer that corresponds with my cargo, and then I can open a layer for any given element of my cargo, and I can just cycle between those. And so this will make it very easy to, for example, compare things at the market, which I'll show in the future. Basically, it's just really nice being able to see where you came from, being able to have that extra contextual information of basically your parent layers. It's kind of like drilling down into a folder in OS. You can see where you came from, which is nice. So I'm pleased with that work, and there's still a lot of potential to be extracted from that interface that I'll look forward to doing. But I just wanted to take a quick break from the LTSL, and I want to come back to it because it really is the coolest part of this month. For now, I'm going to fly to this zone and just see what's going on. The AI, unfortunately, has remained fairly constant since last month. I'm kind of waiting on some things before I'm going to be able to push forward with the AI. In particular, colony work is holding me up a little bit right now. I did some nice colony work this month that unfortunately I'm just not going to have time to show. Didn't have time to bring it to the surface to really show what's going on, but there's cool stuff happening with colonies and LTSL right now, which I'm excited about, but we'll have to wait for another month. As you can see, we've still got that lovely zone tech. I'm just really happy to have these atmospherically rich pieces of space, and even more happy now that I'm going to be able to iterate quickly and change the way that they're distributed and shaped via scripts. Of course, the AI is, as always, just doing some mining, some piracy. Basically the same old there. But you can see those ships are using the new algorithm. Some of them are nice, some of them are lackluster, but I will be iterating more and more on that ship generating algorithm now that it's also easy for me to do. Next up, I want to return to scripting and just do another demo of real-time coding, but this time I want to do it with the interface because I want to show how you can use scripting to basically create entirely new things in the interface, which is, again, both important for me in terms of developing quickly and important for modability in terms of adding new content to the game. So what I'm going to show is just a kind of simplistic demo of building some procedural icons in the UI. So I'm going to open a script that I created for basically creating a new UI node. And keep in mind that since the UI is node-based, a UI node can basically be anything. When it's drilled into, it can expand into whatever it wants to be. So through one single node, I can expose whatever I want to. And so there it is, my custom node. What I'm going to do is just generate a bunch of nodes that have random icons or procedural icons. And I'm going to write that algorithm real quickly right now, just a simplistic one, just to show how I can extend the functionality of LT, how I can do something very quickly in this little scripting language, and how it can all execute efficiently at runtime. And yeah, it'll be fun. So to start out, I'm just going to place some kind of random lines in these icons, and I'll do that by generating some random positions and then adding lines to the icon. Very simple, just a couple lines of code to do that. And it didn't work, which means I made a syntax error somewhere. Let me just check that real quick. Yes. Alright, that's what happens when you add 3D positions to a 2D line. You get an error. No surprises there. In the future, I will of course have in-game error messages for the LTSL compiler. Right now, all I have is console messages. Okay, there we go, back to 2D, and we got some random line icons. Not the prettiest procedural icons ever, but for a few minutes of work, kind of neat. Let's extend that a little bit. Something that I always find useful in procedural generation is symmetry, so I'm just gonna make those horizontally symmetric real quick. That should only take a few little modifications to the code. Boom. There we go. Cool. Got some symmetric procedural icons. Still pretty basic, but not bad. I'm going to extend it even further now. Instead of just connected lines, how about we have some lines with points of light at their endpoints? So it would kind of look like a graph with nodes and edges. That would be cool. So I want to do that. Now I've been thinking it would be very nice to have an in-game LTSL editor, and that's something that's still on the table. It's a little bit out of the scope of limit theory. That's why I'm not going to promise it. But it would certainly be cool to be able to change scripts from within the game without using external tools. So I'm going to look into that and just see how much legwork that would require. We'll see. Clearly I made a mistake again. Ah, indeed. Okay, here we go. Cool. Now we have kind of lines with points of light at the end of them. It's a little bit bright, so I want to tone down the brightness. But, this is just tremendously fast compared to how quickly I can iterate on content from within, C++ and the actual game engine. So I'm just so excited about how this is going to speed up development because I've really been needing a better way to do content efficiently. And this is how it's going to work. So there we go. Some basic procedural icons. Again, that's like a 12-line algorithm or something, so don't expect much. Now I'll just change it so it generates over 1,000 icons. Okay, so there it was. It was basically instant. That just proves, LTSL is it's fast. It's fast to compile. It's fast to run. The compiler and in-game execution environment are very fast, so performance should not be too much of an issue. And also the UI is efficient because, again, there are like 1,000 procedural icons, but they're being rendered efficiently and culled and all that. So that's cool. Little basic procedural icon generator, making my own custom interface from within the LTSL script. And all of that only took a few minutes. So yeah, really this is going to be so cool, both for me to develop on and for you to do your own thing if you're a modder within LT and share your own modifications to the game with other people. I really am just so excited to see how LT evolves between now and release and then after release. Between now and release, of course, I will be the one doing loads of scripting, and after release, you guys will be the ones doing loads of scripting as well as myself. And I just think this is a great step forward in development, and I'm so excited about it. I think the coming months are really going to show the power of the scripting environment within LT. And so, with that, I'm going to bring this update to a close. I apologize for it being a little bit on the technical side, but I think that was just the nature of this month's work, and it's really going to be an enabler for a lot of content technology, so look forward to that. Thank you for joining me. Sorry it's a little bit long this time, and tune in next month. Hopefully August will be jam-packed with content and more LTSL. See you guys later. Have a good day.